Hello everyone, welcome to Desktop Central Training Program. Before I move on, I just want to ensure everyone can hear my voice and view the presentation. Please put it on the chat window so I can start with the training. Right, thank you for the confirmation. Here is our training schedule. We are at week 6. Today we are going to discuss on the integration between Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus product. If you want to view or download the earlier training sessions, you can refer the URL below where you can see all the training recorded sessions which can be downloaded. So we all gathered to discuss on the integration between Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus product and why we have to integrate these two applications. What are the benefits of integrating these two products? So we'll see that in our training session today. So before I start my training, let me introduce myself. I'm Sarandraj Kumar. I have been associated with ManageEngine for about 6 years. I do implementation and training for Desktop Central and other ManageEngine products. So here is our agenda for this training session. We'll have a quick introduction of Desktop Central architecture and ServiceDesk Plus architecture, how the integration is implemented, how to set up the integration between these two applications. And then I have taken a few real-time use cases based on problem-solution approach. The first one is troubleshooting an audio issue for a user with the help of integration, and how to install applications when a service request is raised from ServiceDesk Plus product, how to integrate the software deployment module of Desktop Central within ServiceDesk Plus product, and software deployment based on approval, how to get the updated inventory information in ServiceDesk Plus product with the help of integration. Also, I will go through a few other use cases and how to solve them, overcome those situations using these two applications together. At the end of the session, we'll have a question and answer session where you can ask, I will cover all the questions which are raised in our earlier sessions, the frequently asked questions. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please put it on our chat window. We have expert panel who can answer your questions immediately. All right, what are the operating systems supported with respect to Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus integration? So currently we support Windows and Mac operating system. So what are the features integrated between these two applications? Asset data. So we mean all the asset information from the managed client computers. So Desktop Central manages all the client machines by installing the agent. The agent scans all the computers, find out the inventory information, hardware and software asset information, and post the data to Desktop Central server. And Desktop Central server in turn updates the ServiceDesk Plus CMDB with all the inventory details. An installation and an installation of software application. This is one of the important features in Desktop Central, where administrators can install applications or uninstall applications from a central location. This ability is integrated with ServiceDesk Plus product, which allows the help desk administrators to initiate software deployment or uninstallation process within ServiceDesk Plus product from a service request. An advanced remote control, initiating remote session from ServiceDesk Plus service request with the help of Desktop Central remote control feature, and remote troubleshooting, and logging help desk request and alerts as ticket. The end users can raise a ticket to ServiceDesk Plus product from Desktop Central agent tray icon. There are other options such as using self-service portal of ServiceDesk Plus product to raise a request, sending out email directly to the ServiceDesk Plus product. This option is going to give you more functions such as screen capturing, taking the video of what is happening in the backend, and send as a ticket with all these attachments. So we're going to discuss on all these features in our upcoming slides in detail. So let's have a quick understanding of Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus integration. As you can see, Desktop Central manages all the client machines using its own agent. So whenever you perform any operations from a ServiceDesk Plus product, it will be sent as a command to Desktop Central, and Desktop Central server will search for the relevant client machine and performs the operation. The same way, when you send the data, asset information from the client computers, the data will be posted to Desktop Central server, and Desktop Central server will update all the information to ServiceDesk Plus server. So basically what happens is Desktop Central server create a XML file and put it on the ServiceDesk Plus product, and ServiceDesk Plus product will read all the information from the XML file and put it on the CMDB. Setting up the integration. The integration between Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus product. It has two steps. The first one is authenticating Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus integration by creating an API key and putting it on other products. And what are the features to be integrated? So in our earlier slide, we discussed on few aspects: inventory management, software deployment. So out of those, what are the features we want to integrate? So these are the two steps involved in the integration procedure. So let's go ahead and try with our implementation of integrating these two applications in our test environment. So let me connect to our Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus console. Let me switch between the browser. So where I have accessed Desktop Central product as well as ServiceDesk Plus product. So my first requirement, as for our instructions, I have to create an API key in Desktop Central as well as in ServiceDesk Plus product to authenticate the integration. So I go to Admin tab, and I have under Integrations, API key generation. So when I click on API key generation, it seems I have already created a few times, for 2 accounts. So I will regenerate from my login account. So I copy the API key and I will save it. This is important to save the API key once it is created before I putting it on ServiceDesk Plus product. So if I go to ServiceDesk Plus console, under Admin tab, at the bottom of the page I have General Settings and ME Integrations. There is an option to integrate other products as well. My requirement to integrate Desktop Central. So I'm going to edit Desktop Central settings, and I will paste the API key which I have copied from Desktop Central, and obviously I will put the server name where Desktop Central is running on, the server port. So 8020 is a normal port over TCP, If I run Desktop Central on HTTPS mode, I can choose HTTPS as a protocol and configure the settings. So once I enable the API key, I click on Test and Save Connection. So Desktop Central is authenticated by ServiceDesk Plus product as the integrated application. Now the same way, Desktop Central should authenticate ServiceDesk Plus product, because as per the architecture, both the products communicate with each other. So now Desktop Central should be imported with ServiceDesk Plus details and the API key. In order to create API key in ServiceDesk Plus product, I go to the console and I logged in as an administrator, and I'm going to create API key generation from here. So I have two options, never expires and expires on. So I always go with never expires so that I don't have to worry about the integration, because if I choose any specific date, expires on, the integration will be broken on that particular date. So I will copy and close this tab. Then I go to Desktop Central console. Under Admin tab, I have Integration ServiceDesk Plus settings, and I will choose the product to be integrated ServiceDesk Plus, and the ServiceDesk Plus server running IP address or host name, and the port number, protocol, and the API key, which I have copied from ServiceDesk Plus product, and I click on Save. So the API key will be authenticated by Desktop Central. Now these two products can talk each other. And the second step is to choose what are the features to be integrated between Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus product. So as we discussed earlier, asset data of machines, a feature which will allow Desktop Central to send all the asset information to ServiceDesk Plus product, as well as mobile devices, and software deployment, installing applications from a service request within ServiceDesk Plus product, and adding work log nodes resolution for remote connections. This is advanced remote control feature, and logging help desk request from the agent tray icon, and all the alerts within Desktop Central can be raised as a service request in ServiceDesk Plus product. So we authenticated Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus integration, and then we have chosen what features we want to integrate between these two applications. So this is a typical steps involved in integrating these two products. All right, let's go to our slide. Let's get into our actual use cases. So troubleshooting an audio issue for a user. Let's assume that I work as a help desk engineer and I use ServiceDesk Plus product. And I get a request from one of the user that is having problem in listening to his audio on the system. So how to troubleshoot that with the help of Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus integration? So normally how we troubleshoot. So when I receive a ticket, I initiate a remote session to that machine, maybe using a Windows RDP session, and find out the issue and fix it. But the integration will make these troubleshooting steps very simple. So let me go to ServiceDesk Plus product, and I go to the request section, and I see the request unable to listen to the audio. So this was a ticket raised by my user. And as soon as I open the request, I can see all the ticket information and the status and the asset which is associated with this particular ticket. And on the right hand side, I have a small icons where remotely connect using. So I have several options: agent, Tameware, VNC, and Windows Remote Desktop. So when I see agent, which means it is going to connect using Desktop Central's remote control capability. So when I click on agent option, it is going to initiate a remote session to that machine using Desktop Central agent. So let me connect to the machine. So I have connected to the computer. So let's assume that this is an issue with the drivers related to audio hardwares. So I want to replace new drivers or update new drivers, and I will fix the issue. If I remote into the machine using Windows RDP or some other tool, I will have to download the drivers on that machine, or I have to share it from my computer to that machine. But this product, Desktop Central Remote Control, has lots of features. For example, if I want to connect to the control panel of that machine or device manager, in the left panel I have device manager, control panel, display settings, all the options as quick launch. And after installing the drivers, I just want to ensure that I reboot the machine. And after rebooting it, I want the machine to be reconnected. So I can use the power option for that scenario. If I use Windows RDP, obviously I have to reconnect. But this product is going to automatically connect the session back. And also I can perform lots of admin tasks like disk cleanup or disk check, updating the group policy. So once I initiate a remote session. And I can also transfer file if I want from my machine to the remote machine, and chat. This is one of the important options. So I can chat with the user whether the issue has got fixed or not, or I can even initiate voice call. I can also initiate video call. So Desktop's remote control option has lots of functionality that you can make use and ease the troubleshooting steps. So let's assume that I've resolved the issue and the user confirmed it, that it's working. I can close the session and I can go back to the ticket where I can see the ticket details will be updated after the session. For example, I can put in the resolution, what I have done, initiated remote session, and update the drivers. I can add something if I want, and I can check the history of this particular ticket, what has happened, who worked on this ticket, and also the time log, obviously, SLA, all the information. So these are the support request related information. But what my concern is how I used Desktop Central Remote Control functionality to handle this request within ServiceDesk Plus product. So the integration gives me this ability to remote into the machine using Desktop Central agent. All right, let's go to our next use case. Initiating software installation when a request is raised in SDP. Okay, so when somebody wants a software to be installed on their machine, they go ahead and raise a request to ServiceDesk Plus product. Once a request is raised, the ServiceDesk Plus engineer go ahead and install that application on that machine by connecting to Desktop Central console. It's another task. He has to work with two different products, but the integration makes it very simple. The software deployment functionality of Desktop Central can be completely integrated within ServiceDesk Plus product. So the help desk engineer can install that application within the particular ticket. So let's assume that I've got a request to install application. For example, let's take this Desktop Central. One of the customer, one of the user requires 2016 Office application on his machine. So if I go to ticket details, I have action. I can see install, uninstall software. So how does this option come to ServiceDesk Plus product? In ServiceDesk Plus product, every request will be categorized. For example, all the software related requests can be categorized as a software installation request. Likewise for uninstallation, likewise for login, likewise for a hardware request. So we have to create a service catalog in ServiceDesk Plus product, and when we create a service catalog, there is an option to enable install and uninstall option for all the requests raised for software deployment functionality. If I go to admin tab, I have service catalog, and I click on service catalog, where I can see different service catalogs, application login, communication. The one which I'm interested in is software related catalog. So if I click on that, I have request a software installation, right? So I can edit it to show you the option. So I see all the ServiceDesk Plus related details here that you can configure as you wish. Who is the technician going to handle it? The level of ticket categories. Now you can configure all the information. If I click on workflow, I have an option at the bottom, install, uninstall software. So I will have to modify it to enable install, uninstall option that should come for that particular request. So if anyone logs into the self-service portal of ServiceDesk Plus product and raise a request by following software request for a software installation, that particular ticket will have option to initiate software installation within the service request. So let me go to the request again and open that request here. So under action, I can click on install and install software. So if I don't have that option, I have to go to Desktop Central and create a software deployment from here. It's an additional task for me. So the integration helps me to initiate software deployment within the ServiceDesk Plus product. And it opens up the new window where I can choose the particular EXE, whether it's an MSI or EXE application. I can choose the package type, and I can see all the applications that I've created in Desktop Central. So I can choose the application. So you have a question where these applications are coming from. The applications are coming from Desktop Central software deployment packages that I have created. So whatever package I've created in Desktop Central, all the information will be automatically posted to ServiceDesk Plus product after the integration. So I can choose the application and installation operation. Obviously it's going to be if I want to uninstall this package, I can choose uninstall, and whether I want to copy the files to the machine, the installer files, and I will choose the domain. For example, let's say this is a domain, and a workstation, whether I want to install the application during the machine startup or agent refresh interval. And reboot policy I can configure, whether I want to reboot the machine or do not reboot. Then I can choose the workstation to which I want this application to be installed. So let's say he's the one who requested that application. I can choose that workstation and I can click on save. It is going to create a software deployment task to that machine, and install the application. After the installation, I can see the status here, the particular resolution. I can add that what I have done so far, and task. So what are the tasks I've created? I mean installation and installation task, and I can see the status as executed, which means that application was successfully installed on that machine. So what happens is when I initiate a installation request from here, ServiceDesk Plus product will contact Desktop Central and shares this information, and Desktop Central will search for the particular client machine that I've chosen as a target and install that application and update the status back to ServiceDesk Plus console so I can see it here. So the Desktop Central software deployment module can be used within ServiceDesk Plus product after the integration. All right, here comes the next scenario, which is relatively experienced by all of the engineers in the IT field, in the support field. Let's assume that I work in the sales team. I need some set of common business applications. A new person comes into the sales team, joins after 1 week. He needs the same set of business applications. So I request for the same applications to the help desk engineer, and he requests the same set of applications after 1 week. The problem is, as a help desk engineer, I get lots of requests for the same business applications from a group of people. So obviously, if I work as a IT engineer, I don't want to handle lots of requests for the common same application. It's going to increase the time that I work. Obviously, I have to create a task for each user individually. So to handle this situation, you can integrate another feature which is called as a self-service portal, which will help me to publish all the group of applications to one particular user group. So anybody who joins that group or the existing users will be allowed to install applications themselves from the self-service portal. So if I go to Desktop Central, under Software Deployment module, I have self-service portal in the left panel, and publish software packages. I can click on it, and computer or user, I can select the group to which I want to distribute the packages. For example, let's assume that I have a finance department to whom I want all the applications to be published, which are common to everyone in that team. For example, Acrobat or CCleaner, maybe Excel Weaver, for instance. I would say free PDF. So I can go ahead and click on publish. So once it is published, all the end users can see those applications from the self-service portal. And the best part is the end users can install those applications themselves. They don't have to request you every time for installing these applications. When they need, let them launch the self-service portal and install the packages. So let me go ahead and cancel it. So I will show you. You can right-click the agent tray icon to launch the self-service portal. That will display all the applications which are published to them, and I will see install as an option, and I can go ahead and install the applications. So this is possible with self-service portal feature of Desktop Central. Now, the same scenario can be taken to the next level, which is approving software for from the self-service portal. From the ServiceDesk Plus product. So in our earlier use case, I know that these are the applications which are used by all the finance team members, so I have just published all those applications to them. All the applications are freeware applications, so no harm in installing those applications on their machines. What if it's a commercial package? For instance, let's consider Microsoft Office. If I share this Microsoft Office application to everybody, it is going to increase the IT cost, obviously. I don't want this application to be installed by someone who don't need that application. So what I will do is, whatever applications which come under commercial category, I will publish them with approval settings, which means whoever wants that application, they will have to launch the self-service portal and request for that application. That request will reach ServiceDesk Plus product as a service request, and as a help desk engineer, I will decide whether it needs that application or not. If yes, I will approve that application to be installed. If I think that application is not required for them, I will deny that approval request. So the self-service portal will give another option, which is installing applications based on approval. I will just go ahead and create another publishment here. So let's say I choose the same, this time I choose a different team, help desk team, for example. So I put all the freeware applications installed without approval. So they don't have to request me for these applications. If they want, they can go ahead and install it. But for example, Microsoft Office. Microsoft Office should be installed only based on approval. As you can see, requires approval prior to installation. Because I know that help desk team don't need Microsoft Office. Maybe some high-level engineers might need to enter the details into the Excel or manipulate information. So I want to know who requests for that application. If that machine deserves, I will approve it. So I will go ahead and click on publish. So after this set of applications are published to the group of users, I can go to self-service portal and launch it from the agent tray icon. I see those applications here with the option to request. So the applications which come under freeware category will not request for approval, but the applications which are published for approval request will have an option to request the administrator. So as a user, I want to request for this package. So I click on request and I put the reason why I need this application. So maybe I just want to put any valid reason for that, and I click on send request. So as soon as it is requested, you will see requested as an option, the request raised at a particular time, and this request will reach ServiceDesk Plus product as an approval request. So if I go to ServiceDesk Plus product and I go to my home page, where I can see the particular application request reached the administrator. So I would like to go ahead and take an action. So let's say I just click on take action. I will have certain options whether I want to approve it or reject it. So let's assume that the requirement is legitimate. I want to approve this. I click on approve. That will give me an option to save it. As soon as I save it, this command will be sent to Desktop Central Server, and Desktop Central Server will search for the relevant client machine from where the application is raised as a request, and carry out the functionality to install the package. After installation, it will update ServiceDesk Plus product. So this is possible only if I integrate Desktop Central with ServiceDesk Plus product. So I can handle freeware applications effectively. I don't have to manage individually. I can just publish them as a group of applications to a group of users. At the same time, I can take care of the commercial applications with care. Only based on approval request, I will allow them to install the package. All right, here comes the question, how the request reach ServiceDesk Plus product. So in ServiceDesk Plus product, as we discussed earlier, the request can be categorized into different category. So software installation request, we have created a service catalog. Likewise, we can create a catalog for approval request. I go to service catalog here, and under the software, same software category, I can create one for software SSP approval. I mean, I can click on add service to create one. Since I already have one created, let me edit it and show you. So I can provide some name for this, software SSP approval, for example, and I can configure all the settings with relevant to ServiceDesk Plus product. And I can copy this name from ServiceDesk Plus product and go to Desktop Central. Here I have self-service portal settings. I will place that template name here. So if a service request, approval request is raised from Desktop Central self-service portal, it will reach ServiceDesk Plus product under this particular category, where you can give provision to whom it should be handled, a particular technician who needs to approve those requests. So you can make all the settings relevant to ServiceDesk Plus product to handle those requests effectively. And I also have option such as what I want to launch this self-service portal from. So one option we have already discussed, which is from the agent tray icon. I can go to the agent tray icon and launch the self-service portal. In some environment, the agent tray icon is not allowed to be displayed. In that case, you can put it on a shortcut on the desktop by enabling this checkbox. And also you can put it on the start menu, I mean Windows start menu if you wish. And when you configure this setting, you have two more checkboxes, which is publish non-commercial software applications automatically to all group machines. So this allows any application which are non-commercial will be automatically be pushed to the computers group. So how the server decides which application is non-commercial and commercial. So basically when you create the package in our product, you will choose the license type, whether it's a commercial or non-commercial. So this marking will help you to publish applications via self-service portal using this particular feature. So here is the self-service portal approval workflow. So as a client, a user, I will raise a request. The installation request will reach Desktop Central product. So Desktop Central product will search for the ServiceDesk Plus server, and ServiceDesk Plus engineer will approve the request. The approval command will be sent to Desktop Central product, and Desktop Central will search for the relevant client machine and installs the application, and it sends a status back to the ServiceDesk product. All right, so next use case is maintaining up-to-date inventory information of all softwares and hardwares details in SDP. So Desktop Central has its own agent. The agent is installed on all the client machines. Every time when you make the changes on the client computer with respect to hardware and software, for instance, you install a new application, uninstall an application, or you make the changes in the hardware, immediate scan will be initiated by our agent. The agent has intelligence to fetch the details immediately and send the data to Desktop Central Server. So Desktop Central Server will in turn update ServiceDesk Plus database. So ServiceDesk Plus product will always have updated inventory information. In Desktop Central, we have option to initiate scan from here on demand. You can perform the scan as well as you can schedule the scan weekly once or monthly once. Apart from that, as I discussed earlier, immediate scan will be initiated when you make the changes and the data will be posted to ServiceDesk Plus product. So if I go to ServiceDesk Plus product, I can click on the Assets tab and I will be able to see all the workstations I have in here. When I click on the workstations, I will see all the machines. So this information is posted by Desktop Central to ServiceDesk Plus product. And if I click on the machine name, for instance, I will be able to see all the asset details here. And what are the requests raised from this system, and what are the current status, and software details, hardware details. So this is one of the features we can integrate between Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus product. All the asset information will be automatically posted to ServiceDesk Plus server. All right, so here we end our real-time use cases. Let's quickly go through other scenarios and how to solve them using the integration between Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus product. Scenario 1, I want to notify all the users about upcoming fire drill. How can I achieve this? So as a help desk engineer, so I want to notify everyone about upcoming fire drill. So I have several options. I can send a request, raise a email request to everyone, and I can click on here, add new, to create announcement. So when I create an announcement, I have option, send this announcement as mail. So it will be sent as an email to everybody. The drawback is only if I log into my webmail account as a user, I will be able to see this email. Another option is show to requester. If I'm a user, like I go to the self-service portal of ServiceDesk Plus product, I can weave this information. But there is an option here which is display announcement using Desktop Central. What it does is this checkbox uses Desktop Central agent to display this announcement to everybody. No matter what they are doing, whether they log into their webmail account or they log into the SDP self-service portal, all they want a pop-up message which the administrator wanted to convey. So if you enable this checkbox, display announcement using Desktop Central, and put the message what you want to convey with the title and the date, Desktop Central uses announcement feature which are available under Tools module to display that message. So basically what happens is ServiceDesk Plus product uses Desktop Central to display that information with the help of Desktop Central agent in all the client machines. All right, so here is the example, like how the message will be displayed. with the desktop central agent tray icon, as you can see. And number two, I want to get some clarification from the requester with regards to printer problem that you reported. What should I do? So we come across this scenario several times. A requester raises a case, and the case is not clear enough to understand for further troubleshooting. We may want to open up some kind of conversation to understand the exact scenario. Desktop Central has a chat feature which is integrated. When you go to the service request within ServiceDesk Plus product, for example, is having a printer problem, unable to print, there's a request. I can initiate a chat from here to that machine and discuss with him about the actual concern, and go with the further troubleshooting. So this is possible only if I integrate Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus product. There is an option. So if the administrator is logged onto that machine, I can go ahead and select the particular computer. So this is the machine, for example, and I can initiate. To understand the problem better, I would want the users to attach a screenshot or a video of the problem. How can I achieve this? As I mentioned earlier, you have several options to send a request to ServiceDesk Plus product. The one is sending an email directly to your ServiceDesk Plus product. Another one is using self-service portal of ServiceDesk Plus product. And the last option is using our Desktop Central agent tray icon. The benefit of using our Desktop Central agent tray icon to raise a request is you can lively capture the issue and attach it as a video file, as well as you can lively take the screenshot of what is happening in the backend. For example, I'm having an issue on this machine that I want to raise it to my help desk engineer. If I go to agent tray icon and right click on it, I have send request to help desk. If I click on that, I can put the message here, whatever I wanted to convey, and I can choose attachment, and either I want a screenshot or screen recording. When I choose screen recording, I can start it, which means now the recording will be started, and whatever I'm doing now will be captured as a video file. I can end this, and the particular ticket will have this video file as attachment. If I send a request, it will reach ServiceDesk Plus product. So the engineer can just download the video from the request and watch it to understand the problem. This makes it easier. If it's an email or self-service portal, I have to explain everything, and it will go to multiple iterations. To simply resolve the issue in timely manner, I want to know what the exact issue is, and I want a video file or a screenshot to understand it clearly. So this is only possible if you integrate Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus product, specifically the feature which is called as raising request from agent tray icon. So here's the feature, log help desk request and alerts as ticket. If you enable this feature, this is possible. Also, I have to configure one more setting, that is help desk settings, to allow end users to raise a request. The request can be created predefined here, like you can create lots of predefined requests, and those will be displayed when the end user uses the subject. So it's pre-configured. You can simply send a request to ServiceDesk Plus product. enable help desk settings, and prefix, whether it comes from Desktop Central, you can put whatever you want. And attachment, what is the default format, whether it should be in a PNG, JPG, or a BMP file. So next scenario is I want to run a script to repair my AV application from all the network computers. Can I achieve this? Let's assume that I've received a request that I want to repair the particular antivirus program on all the end user machines. So obviously I can make use of Desktop Central script configuration to fulfill my requirements. So Desktop Central has the option to deploy scripts. So we have templates here, almost 143 templates as of now. So you can make use of all these templates. You can select the application, script, and add it to the repository. The scripts which are added to the repository can be used from the configurations module by running a custom script. You can select that script from the repository and select the target machines and deploy it. But my intention is to use this script within ServiceDesk Plus product service request, right? So how can I do that? I can go to the request that is raised, and the same way, so earlier what we done with the software deployment, I can open the request, and under action I will see install or uninstall software. The same way I can see run script as an option. So let me reopen the console. I think it's loading. All right, so go to the requests page. Let's take this as an example. I'm sorry. So I've taken the one. I go to request, and yeah, let's take this one. So under action I have seen install software. The same way I can see run script. So I can click on run script and select the script which are imported from Desktop Central, and to whom that should be displayed, applied. I can select all the users as a target, the workstations, and save the task. So how this is possible to select run script option? So as I've explained earlier, when you create service catalog for software installation request, there is the option even for run script. Only if you enable this feature, we will be able to see that under action menu for any service request. So with the help of integration, I can make use of all the scripts from Desktop Central within ServiceDesk Plus service request. So scenario number 5, what are the other integration opportunities? So Desktop Central is integrated with ServiceDesk Plus on-demand version of the product, and also Asset Explorer. And the third-party product, which is called ServiceNow. So you can integrate Desktop Central with ServiceNow application as well. All the asset information will be posted from Desktop Central to ServiceNow. Also, you can install applications in one click. So you have lots of facilities between these two products. So let's have a quick question and answer session. Do I still need both the SDP and Desktop Central Agent after integration? Absolutely not. Desktop Central Agent is enough to manage client machines, and after the integration you can send all the commands from ServiceDesk Plus product to Desktop Central, and Desktop Central will carry out the functions, operations, and send the status back to ServiceDesk Plus product. So you don't need to run two agents. after the integration. Question number 2, I have a license to manage 500 nodes in ServiceDesk Plus product, and I have purchased license to manage 1,000 computers in Desktop Central. How does the integration work in this scenario? In order to manage all the machines with the help of integration, you need to have same set of assets in both the products. I mean the licensed assets. If I manage Desktop Central with 1,000 machines, I should have the same number of machines in ServiceDesk Plus product. I mean, I should have purchased license for the same number of machines. Only then I can post information of 1,000 computers to ServiceDesk Plus product. Otherwise, I can manage only the first 500 machines with the help of integration. Second, question number 3, do I need to generate separate API keys for all the SDP technicians? You don't have to create separate API key for all the technicians. API key should be created only for admin account. You can create that and put it on the Desktop Central to authenticate. That is enough. But when you create technician accounts in ServiceDesk Plus product and you want him to manage both Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus together, you can enable login for that account in Desktop Central. Enable login for this technician. Enable access Desktop Central and MDM functionality. If you enable this checkbox, this technician can have access to all the features of Desktop Central as well. But you don't have to create a separate API key for him. Can I integrate only the tools like remote control and chat instead of complete Desktop Central? Yes, you can. We provide tools plugin as an option. The Desktop Central comes only with tools module. You will see only home tab, tools, and admin support. So the plugin can be integrated with ServiceDesk Plus product. It will not have other features like patch management, software deployment, inventory. So all the information, related to tools module, you can make all the operations from ServiceDesk Plus product after this plugin integration. How long will it take for the data to be posted from Desktop Central to ServiceDesk Plus product? The data will be posted immediately whenever we perform the scan. After we post the information to ServiceDesk Plus product, ServiceDesk Plus product will read that information once in every 2 minutes. So you can hardly say within 2 minutes you can see the posted information in ServiceDesk Plus CMDB. So question number 6, when a computer is added or removed in a domain, should I make the changes manually or how can this be handled by Desktop Central? When a computer is added or removed to a domain, we can sync that information and capture the details and manage accordingly. In Desktop Central we have SOM policy settings under SOM settings scope of management and SOM policy, where you can configure AD sync settings. So when a machine is deleted from Active Directory, that will be deleted even from Desktop Central. And when a machine is newly added to the product, it will install the agent and add it to the product management scope. So how this affects ServiceDesk product? For example, a machine is removed from Active Directory, so it is removed from Desktop Central as well. After it is removed from Desktop Central, it should not have information. ServiceDesk Plus should not have that information as well. During the integration of Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus product, when you enable asset data of computers, you can enable this option Action to be performed on ServiceDesk Plus product when computers are removed from Desktop Central scope of management. Either you can mark that asset as disposed in ServiceDesk Plus product or remove the asset. You can make appropriate actions. Will this integration help me to patch computers from ServiceDesk Plus product? Yes, after the integration, one of the benefits for help desk engineers is you can see all the Desktop Central features within ServiceDesk Plus product, and you can initiate patch deployment tasks if you want, like automate patch deployment. You can create all the tasks within the ServiceDesk Plus UI. Question number 8, will this integration help me to manage computers which are located in remote office locations? Yes, you can. You can manage machines over internet using public IP address through Desktop Central. If you can manage any client machine using Desktop Central, obviously you can manage that machine using ServiceDesk Plus as well. All we need is agent server communication between Desktop Central and the client machines. All right, here ends our training session. Please rate us on a scale of 1 to 5, where 5 is the best. The rating will help us to improve the training content and quality. Please spread a word about our training session. I love hashtag Desktop Central free training for ManageEngine. So here's our next training schedule, imaging and OS provisioning on 30th August. As usual, we have 2 sessions to cover different regions, 6:30 GMT and 11:30 EST. All right, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Have a nice day.